Who's the mentor now, baby? You see that? That's right. Awesome, dude.
Does that mean we need to switch chairs?
No. Not switching chairs. What do you think about SrVerde? Who?
We are back.
We're back.
Yeah. So
back in the saddle again.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Everything That I Know podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Whitley, here to talk to the man who knows everything that he knows, SrVerde. SrVerde.
That was like
X.
A weird kind of spin on it.
I put an accent on it.
You accented something.
Yeah.
Not sure what you were doing. What's up, friend?
Not much, man. I am
seen you in a while. I'm digging that shirt.
It's not a Battle Cat shirt, but it, it's from Animal House. Tribute
I love
to
it.
John Belushi.
Oh, John Belushi.
But fun fact, I was born on Chris Farley's birthday. I was actually due on the day that John Belushi died.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm 33.
Oh no.
But I don't do drugs.
Well, good.
So,
then you probably
I think I'm clear.
We'll
really
make
clear.
It.
Yeah.
33 was an interesting year for me. I remember that
Was
year.
it?
Yeah.
That was like 10 years ago, right?
It was a little bit longer than that.
Oh.
But it was a good year. I remember that year. It was challenging, but there was a lot of good things taking place. And then some bad things happened because the bottom fell out of some stuff. But 30 was tough from a mental standpoint, just that whole I'm a grown-up now kind of thing. And 40 wasn't near as hard as 30 for me up here. But 33, I remember that being a pretty good year. Yeah, we talked about that once or twice before.
Year. Yeah.
Do you mind if I pop the cap?
Maybe. What are you drinking? What is?
Did you hear that can? This, my friends.
Oh, look at that!
This is a True Vine beer. Love these guys.
Brewed in Tyler, Texas,
and this is their Smith County Lager.
It's pretty good.
So it's really good. It's actually one of their lighter ones. So from a calorie standpoint and for just a flavor, I like plenty of their other ones. I'm not a huge beer fan, not a huge beer drinker. This one's delicious, and
it really is.
Love the logo. This is one of the best logos I've ever seen.
It is
cool. If you don't know anything about Smith County, you should go try to find the book
Smith County Justice.
It'll tell you everything you need to know.
And if you watch Investigative Discovery, it's also called Lone Star.
I actually have back in my office.
Do you have it?
I have Smith County Justice original print, hard copy with the original dust jacket. And
you probably won't let me borrow that, will you?
No, you can't have that one.
Can I read it when I'm up here?
You might be. Yeah, well, you can read it when you're up here. Sure,
right,
sure.
Because
I might talk about that a little bit here in a second about you being up here. And
I want to try to be up here a lot more. Yeah.
Golly, I'm trying to. Not real good at this.
Well, you haven't been in the gym lately, so.
Shut up, please.
Yeah. So I know last week.
So good.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, go ahead.
Last week, I kind of segued. We had to get you out of your funk. I had to talk about your passion. Had to talk about some guitars.
Yeah.
Music. And, getting in the trenches with your team.
Right.
We kind of started to get on kind of how my week was before that. Yes. You were trying to get kind of back in on an update on everything and, halfway done with real estate classes.
Yeah.
We kind of talked about real estate as kind of like a shovel for the business here, but also for what I'm trying to do, that real estate kind of be my bread and butter of how to make money on top of acting. And had an awesome show 2 weeks ago. And, man, I got to tell you, it was really cool. We do a thing where I end up interviewing an audience member.
Nice.
Usually about their life, be a man or a woman. And so I'll find out kind of what they do for a living, kind of about how old they are, if they have any kids, their family, what they do for work. And so I brought this woman up. Well, number one, she was sitting on the front row with a sash across her. And she looked about 60 years old.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, maybe this is a bachelorette party. So I walk over, and it's her birthday. So I ask her to come up on stage, and she sits down next to me. And kind of the reason we do this is we end up making up a doo-wop song about her life.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of when I kind of get all this information out, and it's kind of like this. I interview her, and the fans react to me reacting to her. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah.
So we kind of get going. We're having a good time, and I look down. She has a ring on her finger, and I mention, so tell me about your husband. And she says, well, he passed away in November. And I'm on stage in a 200 Seat Auditorium.
No.
And first I just give her a hug. And I thank her for being there.
Yeah.
And ask about him. And, and then so I found out how long they were married, and they lived in Dallas, got married, and then had a honeymoon in Winsboro, Texas, which, if you're not familiar with that, is the middle of nowhere of East Texas.
Yeah.
But it was great because that's the reason I do comedy. It's for people that come to our shows, and it was really neat because we posted a picture about her, and
what was the sash for? What was
it said birthday.
Oh, okay.
So it was her 69th birthday.
Okay.
And
I saw that post. Yeah. That's the one you were talking about. That lady.
Yeah. So basically said, we said, thank you. Happy birthday. She said, you made this first birthday in 32 years without my husband so memorable. Oh. It helped me forget for a couple of hours. And so that was just like, wow, that's why I do what I do, trying to make people laugh. So if they come to the show and they're in pain, it's something that they kind of have an escape for a little bit. There's just that brief moment. Even if it's just one laugh, that's one laugh, they're not hurting. So it was a really, really, really awesome week. And then kind of followed the next week up with kind of feeling, a little discouraged.
Tell me about that.
Well, I think it was more so because, I shot a commercial, that same week as the show. Mm-hmm. I knocked out like 2 classes that week, had another audition. Things were just like really rolling. And then I had lunch with someone in real estate that, kind of talked about kind of a lot of the negative sides to real estate. And so it kind of made me have to really kind of think about, having to really hustle to not have to live that kind of life. So I think now I'm more recharged and ready to kind of hit the ground running. And I actually had a great interview with so we have an intern for Car 53.
Yeah.
And he was interviewing me for a paper, and then we started just kind of talking, and I asked him, what does he really want to do? And he's a communications major at UT Tyler. It's kind of why he's coming to help me out, because he knows that's what I did. And, I just said, hey, he said he wanted to do PR for like celebrities. And I was like, well, if that's what you're wanting to do, you better hope I get really lucky or move. So, one of the things that was kind of cool is his girlfriend was there because they were in town kind of having an anniversary date, but that was the only time I could meet. So they came over to do the interview, and I got to kind of talk to both of them, both super young. And I was like, hey, do you support this for him doing this? And she's like, yeah, absolutely. And
great
I was
question.
like, well, then that's great. Then you guys need to go off, and you're 21 right now. Now's the time to go out, take your risk. I said, in 10 years, guess what? You're going to be just like me, wishing you had done it in your 20s.
Who's the mentor now, baby? You see that? That's awesome, dude.
Does that mean we need to switch chairs?
No, not switching chairs. But no, that's because, there's so many things that have transpired. This is what we're trying to do with this. There's so many things in your life that have transpired over the last 6 months, or really over the last 4 months since we started this, because this is our 4th month.
Oh, wow.
Right? It's pretty interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is our 5th month. We started this in February 13th. Valentine's.
Oh, Rose, right before my birthday.
Yeah.
And Valentine's.
Yeah, remember?
You're right.
So we're this is our 5th month.
Yeah.
But it's neat to see how you've transitioned and all the things that have transpired in your life. But at the same time, opportunities are coming to you for you to be able to execute on certain things in your life. But then you turn around and you get to talk to somebody else who's younger than you, and it's coming from me to you to them. And it's flowing, right?
Yeah.
That information is flowing.
Right.
And that's so cool because that's what it's supposed to be all about.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. For 1 second, I felt like I was like a bootlicker. Like just stealing your material.
People, that's a reference to a post that someone commented on that was hilarious. We were talking about earlier today over lunch, and we won't go deep into that. But some other time, one other time, we're going to bring that up and really, we're going to razz on the haters one day. We're going to have like a anti-haters podcast episode, and it's going to be funny because every time I get a hate comment, I just laugh my ass off. I mean, I just can't help it. I'm like, that's really good. Like, I need to use that. That's funny. Or, oh, that's sad, So anyway, so you had a great show, and you mentioned something about that show where you were able to speak to that lady and give her a great experience. And that's what we talk about in business all the time, that user experience. Mm-hmm. Your product is your comedy show. her user experience was incredible.
Yeah.
Like she's a fan.
Right.
And she's going to go tell everybody about you.
Yeah.
That's what you should do as a business.
Well, you
what's should
crazy?
Love on people
Yeah.
until they become raving fans, and then they go tell people about it, right? That's the point. So you're just doing what we do in business.
Yeah, and I don't even know necessarily that my comedy show is the product as much as it is us wanting people to have an experience, because if I just said, oh, my product's my comedy show, we're funny, come see us, then that's all about me. But if I say, hey, if you want to have an amazing experience, kind of escape and do something fun for yourself.
But that's the product.
Come let me help you.
The experience is the product.
The experience, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Not just the show,
right.
but what you get out of it when you come participate.
Right.
And the potential for somebody like that. You didn't plan that.
No, it was incredible.
And so I think timing for her, timing for you, the show ended up being a success, probably based on some of that content that came out of that experience.
Yeah, it was a great way to start the show.
Yeah, and so I think that's cool. I think it's cool that you got to meet with one of your interns and talk about what you talked about with him, and that all the knowledge you're gaining, you're just reciprocating that back into somebody else's life, and that's what it's about for me. I have a piece of that because it came and flowed through you, and those are the kind of stories that keep me fueled when I get those hater comments or when a deal does go bad or I have a bad day. I tell people all the time, that you just made my week. That DM made my week. Or, hey, that's the fuel that keeps me going.
Yeah.
Let's go. Don't stop, because you didn't know it, but I was having a bad morning. So thanks for sending that.
Yeah.
So that's awesome, man. I'm glad to see the fruit of your labors and the fruit of your endeavors there with the show and everything. That's exciting.
Yeah, I feel like it's, sometimes it's discouraging because, here I am, I'm a month into being laid off, but I'm hustling, doing the things that I want to do. I have the time to do the things that I want to do. And I'm executing on getting the real estate license done as fast as I can. So
that's crazy. You telling me like in a month you'll be done?
Yeah,
it's nuts. That's awesome.
That's the goal.
Yeah,
and it's scary though because once that severance runs out, I don't know what's next. But I feel like it's gonna be there. I just have to keep creating opportunities right now.
Dude, I totally believe that. And we talked about something earlier over lunch. I think I asked you how you were doing because your car's paid for.
Yeah.
We talked about the credit card debt, and you were like, well, I've made 2 additional payments, and now I'm under this number. I was like, what?
Yeah.
During an unemployed situation.
Right.
Because you've lived in such a manner that it's allowed you to do that.
Right.
Most people would have just pushed pause, but you're able to do that and continue to execute on that and get that out of the way. Then it won't be as paramount when the severance runs out. You won't have that extra flow going out. You'll just have your necessities and your needs.
Yeah.
And then you can build on top of that. So.
I'm not really sure where my credit card went. So I guess that's a good thing.
Wow.
So that means I can't really just, rely on using that when I get in a tough situation, which means I need to get my emergency fund back up.
You do need to get your emergency fund back up. But I tell you what's funny, there's so many different ways to kill the credit card thing. Sometimes people cut them up like in a bold move, like chop, and throw it in the trash or shred it or whatever. And I've seen some people to just deter themselves but not go to that extreme. I've actually heard of people taking their credit cards, putting them in a Ziploc bag, filling the Ziploc bag full of water, and freezing it. So in order to get them, you had to take them out of the freezer, thaw them out, or crush the ice, and it was an act that you had to participate in. And so hopefully while you were participating in this act, you would refrain from doing it and put it back in the freezer and move on to whatever else.
Would that work with the chip now?
I don't think it would hurt anything. Is that really? I'm
gonna try it out.
I don't think with the temperature extremes that really matters with those.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it out, and then when I pay my credit card off, I'm gonna go buy something big to celebrate. I'm kidding. I'm so kidding.
I tell you what, if you want to buy something big with your credit card, I would allow it if you bought one of my guitars. But that's really the only thing I would allow.
That's probably more than my credit card would even cover. I don't have enough credit on that account.
That was a joke, by the way. I would not condone him using the credit card to purchase anything from me or anybody else.
Right.
It's kind of funny.
And so I guess by the time this comes out, we'll probably have a first look at the first guitar.
Yeah. I think during this episode, Hunter stole my car a while ago and took. I think he actually went to pick one up.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So that's going to be interesting. But yeah, by the time this episode is out, there will already have been other posts and other information and other things happening with that. But that's exciting. So we'll watch that all play out here in the next few months.
Yeah, I guess we got 4th of July coming up. Any big plans?
No, not really. There's a lot of stuff that happens in our area of the state. We typically try to pick one. We have a lot of friends that like to go to different stuff. On a regular basis, we've gone to one fairly large thing out in south part of town. There's a big lake out there, and they do a over the water fireworks show and live music and all that stuff for the evening. It's just so damn hot.
Yeah.
And when you've got 4 kids running around and everything, it's just chasing those guys. But the older they get, those events get a little bit more easier to manage. Not so much, but several years back we had a boat, so we spent every 4th of July on the lake.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's been about, I don't know, about 6 or 7 years since we've had that.
Yeah,
but maybe not that long. Maybe not that long at all. But it's been a few years, long enough that I've forgotten.
Did your hair fly like the American flag?
You just
let it sail in the wind.
It did when I was younger, but when I owned this particular craft, it was a family thing we had together with some other family members. I did not have the long locks at that point. It was still kind of shorty.
You're going to have to post a picture so everybody can see what it's like without the long locks.
Eventually. Yeah. There will someday be some content of me out there with the hair down, but typically it's a private thing.
There's content of me. I went through the blonde tips boy band hair phase in high school.
Oh, you're not the only one. I knew a lot of guys had that.
Oh, they're going to say you did too. And I was like,
No.
well, you were like 10 years older than me, 12 years older than me. So, yeah.
I don't think I ever did any hair color.
Yeah, I did.
I never had any piercings. I never got a tattoo.
In fact, I'll send you a picture.
Never
that
had
way
any
you can
hair
add it
color.
to the video of this.
I just had long hair, and that was about the extent of my rebellion.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, that's pretty much an update on my life.
that's great.
Yeah, so I think it's just a matter of keep trucking and, realizing that when I get discouraged that I have to fight through it because it's not going to get any easier.
Yeah. I think once you get through this, next couple of months, there's going to be some opportunities that open up for you that you're not even aware of, and they're just going to continue to flourish and to open up. And I think you're going to here's what's cool. You're going to look back at this in 10 years, literally be able to go to YouTube and look at these, right?
Yeah.
And so are your kids when you have kids someday, or so are
Right.
people that you meet in the future, and they'll be like, "What, dude? Really? You got laid
Yeah.
off? Wow!" It's the historical record.
That's true.
Of what you're going through.
Yeah.
It's not just, way back when I had a laid off. It's like,
Yeah.
no, look, go listen. Look at my face. Listen to my words. Like, dude, that's awesome.
That is cool. Yeah,
So that's why we document everything.
I mean, I don't want to be a bootlicker, but Gary's put out some posts lately where he's like from 1999 to now.
Yeah,
it's
it's 2008,
cool.
2019.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen those.
I don't want to be like him, because I will only lick your boots.
That's
not
right.
his. And
We got to bring that in at some point. It's so funny.
we should bring him in and talk about bootlickers.
We will, folks, we will clean that up in the next couple of episodes. We're going to leave you hanging with that today and let you know that when you get into this social media space, when you get into the business of media production and, pushing out content that matters to people that you want to touch, there are people out there that just exist to spit hate and nonsense. And, you can take some of the most meaningful posts and you will get some of the shittiest comments. And it's nuts, right? It's nuts. And it's like, cool, whatever, I get it. You're mad about something.
Yeah.
But I've heard so many people in this space talk about it that, you got to be thick-skinned, you got to be tough. And it's just something that's never bothered me. And so I've just never been one that took that stuff personally and took it in and hurt my feelings or anything like that. But we'll talk about that in future episodes. But thanks for doing this again today.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad everything's going good. There's a lot more good stuff coming. So with that said, appreciate all of you listening, and we'll talk to you again soon.
July.
Happy 4th of July. Absolutely.
America.
1776.
Alexander Hamilton.
This is America.
That's right.
All right, guys. Thanks.
All right.